Vanessa. This is our first podcast together. How does it feel?
Good.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've had a lot of practice in front of the camera lately.
Oh my gosh, 20 episodes of practice.
A lot, yes.
Yeah.
But worthwhile.
It feels good to finally be at this point where we've created the course and now we're able to tell you guys all about it. But why don't we start? Why don't you tell everyone who you are?
Yeah, okay, so I'm Vanessa Mayberry, and I have been a portrait, brand, wedding photographer for over 8 years. It's brought me, weddings have brought me all over.
Yeah.
I've been able to travel with it, which honestly is super surreal and never thought I'd be able to
so,
do that.
It's crazy and really cool.
It's really fun. And then I moved to Vancouver during the pandemic, so I wanted to just expand the industry in brand work and corporations. So it allowed me to do that. It's absolutely beautiful. And now I am a studio owner.
Which is awesome. And we're sitting in that studio.
We are literally sitting in the studio right now again.
And it's beautiful. So book, make sure, it's Prospect Studio, by the way.
Prospect Studio, exactly. You can book it on Prospect the Shop Instagram. And yeah, it's just a surreal experience looking back, honestly, from the beginning of my business to where we are here now. And we can talk more about the course and how I got here, but let's hear about you, Brooke.
Yes, so my name is Brooke, and basically, Vanessa, she didn't tell you this, but I'll tell you this. Vanessa was a self-taught photographer, so she brings that kind of journey, her photography journey, to this course.
Yeah, so I didn't go to school for anything. I knew that for me, the way that I learn, it just wasn't going to be ideal. But that doesn't mean that there's anything against school, because obviously, Brooke has gone. Yeah. But for me, I wanted to go and visit my favorite photographers and go mentor from them and learn hands-on. Yeah. And then I honestly just learned the rest through practice and I was that kid when I was 12, I would teach myself Final Cut Pro. Yeah. And I got really into doing Photoshop in my late teens, and it was just one of those things I would rather sit on my computer and browse the internet and learn
it
how.
Out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, me,
I didn't go to school for photography. I actually went to business school. So I knew I wanted to basically figure out, how do I run a sustainable business? What are different strategies for doing that? And kind of look at the bigger picture of profitability. And I know that's putting on your business hat, and then there's the side of having your creative hat. But lots of people, especially creatives, I think can kind of relate more to your story, where they went, they didn't go to school for it.
Yes.
And they're jumping
It started
into
as
this.
a hobby. People got to experiment, shoot their friends, things like that.
Exactly.
But the business aspects of things have been so important to learn along the way.
Yeah, and so I went and got my degrees, and I knew the entire time, I kind of gritted my teeth as I did it, and because I knew I was such a creative person, but I was like, you know what, this is really important information to learn so that I can not only create a photography business or a business, I want to create a successful business. And to me, successful meant, okay, yes, I'm really happy with the clients I'm served, but I'm also really happy with my processes, and it's sustaining the lifestyle I'm hoping I can live. Right?
It's funny you say that, actually, because that has been the most satisfying part about my business, and my learning curve throughout the way. It's just figuring things out and finally getting to a point where I feel okay, this works for me. This feels organized. I feel professional. How can I best
serve my clients? Because these people are my friends now, right?
Exactly,
and I want to do the best I can for them, right? But anyway, I was supposed to tell you how I got into photography, and we went on a big sideways. But basically, I started doing brand photography through Clear Lake Country, which is a nonprofit. And so at the time I was new to photography, and they gave me 80 businesses to shoot. And I remember it was just the craziest learning curve ever, because I was thrown in, and every single day, it was a condensed format too, so it was 3 or 4 months where I was shooting for 80 businesses. So it was a very rare experience.
Yeah.
But I did that first, and then I realized, okay, this is something that I want to do now that I've finished business school. I just want to have my own photography business and kind of be able to choose my own path and my own clients.
Yeah.
So I've worked, you know, everything from, when it comes to branding photography, everything from photographing like an ice cream shop to like a whale watching company in Iceland. So it's really cool.
Pretty
where
wild.
photography,
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Yeah.
So
but
it's funny, like you look back at like where you started in your business, and you're like, you know, you would have only dreamed of having these experiences at the beginning, and you're like, it's such a humbling thing because you have to remind yourself of where you came from, because you're like, wow, like I did that, and it is a surreal thing, and that's what we want you guys to feel. So we're getting excited to get into this course a little bit more.
Yeah, so before we dive into what Evergreen is, let's talk about how we know each other and how we got connected.
Yeah, so I met Brooke while I was doing an in-person workshop with 2 other girls in Manitoba at the time, because we're both from Manitoba. And I met you at Clear Lake Country at this place called the Lake House, which is where the workshop was being hosted. That's where the accommodation was.
Yeah.
And we were in desperate need of a location because it was supposed to pour rain that day. So that meant that our huge hike idea was canceled, and we needed to find something a little bit easier. And so Brooke saved the day. We had an attendee at the workshop, which was
my friend,
your friend.
So basically, through Clear. This was when I was working for
now
Clear
a
Lake
mutual
Country.
friend, but
now we're both their friends. But essentially, I remember I was sitting in the lake house one day just getting work done, and these 3 hosts who I recognized because Aislinn had told me, my friend, that she was attending this workshop that was going to be, you know, the accommodation was at the lake house, and so I had looked it up, and these 3 hosts come walking up to me looking for location ideas at the time. And I had grown up in, like, every single year my family had gone to Clear Lake. So I literally knew it like the back of my hand. Like, my family owns farmyards out there.
Exactly. So you gave us a list of options and, like, just how to get to these places and really just save the day. And at that point, like, I was really quiet that day because, like, meeting new people, like, I used to be really, like, awkward. And I think I was also just, like, emotionally drained from that day.
But I just remember thinking, oh my goodness, this cute little redhead in the
good.
back. I thought none of that, but I did think, like, we never really had a one-on-one
conversation. When you look back, we didn't really talk. We didn't talk after that either. And then it wasn't until I moved.
You guys were so busy, and it was like I was talking to the group, and then I had moved to Vancouver basically in January before the pandemic, which is wild timing. And I had just gone through the process of trying to relocate my business.
Before is better than during.
I don't know. I don't know what was better, because it was like I moved and literally like a month and a half later it's like shut down.
It was too
right?
soon. Yeah.
So I had just gone through this whole process, and then I saw on Instagram Vanessa had posted saying she was moving out there like about 6 months later.
Yeah. And so I had moved out here during the pandemic. And Brooke had later reached out to me and just brought up the idea. She, so at the time I was actually creating YouTube videos because I just moved to a new place. I had a lot of time on my hands, and it was fun to just put content out there.
And they're really good, so go watch Vanessa Mayberry's YouTube channel.
I don't think they're all up there anymore. Thank you. But it was a lot of work to upkeep. That's why. So when Brooke came up with the idea for us to do it for this purpose of a workshop, then it made more sense. And that's kind of where it went from there.
Yeah, totally. So it was basically too, it was like, okay, I had created Stay Close, and we had an entire year, you know, of 2020 events planned, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, we have this global pandemic, everything needs to be canceled.
Now you have to get a little creative with your time and trying to figure out what is something you've always wanted to do when you had time. And so we made it happen.
And so basically, why don't next we talk about a little bit about who the course is for and kind of the preparation that went into making it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so firstly, this workshop's called Evergreen for a reason, because not only did it both resonate with both of our brands, like very natural, earthy, but we also discussed this, and Brooke's like, well, Evergreen's actually a marketing term for long-lasting and sustainable. So it just made sense.
Make me sound like a big nerd. Well, actually, sorry. No,
cute nerd.
That was literally me word for word.
But for real, like, yeah, you're like, this is, and I was like, that actually makes so much sense, because for us, we want this content to be long lasting. We don't want it to just be a workshop that expires in a year. Like, this knowledge that we have acquired over years and years of experience is thrown into this. Not thrown, more so like effortlessly placed.
Yeah, like carefully placed. Yeah.
But still a lot of work.
Yeah, and so when it comes to who is this course created for, and we give that a lot of thought kind of throughout the creation process, and just going, okay, we want it to be not just a course for wedding photographers or for brand photographers. We want it to be something that any photographer who's looking to have a profitable business and to put, you know, strong processes into that business, both creative and kind of more of that business hat.
And I do feel like a lot of like even just business owners, influencers, bloggers, things like that will benefit from this course, because there's so much discussion, which we'll get into exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, we'll break it down. But so at the end of it, it was the course, I would say, if you are new to photography, this will be a great course for you. However, just know it doesn't teach camera basics. Stay Close does have a different course for that. But we're not going to sit down and teach you how to shoot in manual.
No. We're not going to discuss your camera. It's more just running the business and all of those.
And I would say even, so if you've been shooting for years too, this is still a great course for you, because I know how, just myself, even, you know, 3 years into my photography career, 5 years.
I was learning things along the way through doing
I'm still learning.
I think we were both even teaching each other things.
Yeah.
So honestly, like it's just one of those courses you always have things to learn.
Yeah, and but what I was gonna say on that too is just even throughout the years, to learn a new perspective from someone and how maybe they would do something different, it's always valuable. And so
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so actually on the website we did make sure to kind of say, hey, this course is for you if this, and this applies. So if you're kind of, you know, you want to learn more about it, you can always visit the website there.
You can find the website, you can find the workshop available on the website. So it's going to be on stayclose.ca if you're interested in signing up for it.
Yeah. But why don't we tell them actually the breakdown of the course?
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically in season 1, we talk all about just infusing you and your brand and just figuring, okay, what does your brand look like? What colors, what fonts? Like, how is your brand going to be recognizable?
We help you build a brand for yourself to start, so that, like, that's like mainly the first process in it.
Yeah.
And then we get into websites and creating a website for yourself, because that can be a daunting task.
Oh, we talk about the different platforms, what we use, what we make sure to include to make your client process easy as well.
Yes, and when to suggest outsourcing and things like that.
Yeah.
So season 2 is all about marketing. So we're going to talk about attracting clients, bringing clients to you and your business. We talk about search engine optimization, which if you're not sure what that is, then definitely watch that episode.
Very important.
Extremely. And Instagram marketing, we actually have a special guest for that episode who is, she's taken so much time to give us a lot of tips that we were able to share.
Yeah, her name is Gabriella, and she's from the Everyday Home. So we were really excited to have her on our episode, just because you can see just what she's built. Like when we started the course, I can't remember what her follower count was exactly, but I mean, a couple months later,
tripled.
It's almost like it's like, wait, where did those 20,000 followers come from? Right?
Yeah.
And
so you just know, like, she knows what she's doing.
Exactly. So it was really cool to talk to her. And then the next episode, or the next season, is season 3, and it's all about the nitty gritty. And this is where we really dive into just pricing strategies and how to forecast your income for the next year, so that you're not just going in blind. You're like, okay, I know what I've made in the first quarter of my business, or the half year point, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that you can take like steps to go, okay, if I'm not making what I was hoping I'd make, you know, what are some
steps that I can do? Exactly. And then season 4, we're going to talk about communications, which is going to involve your email, just getting, you know, back to clients in a very good timeline. So email response times is what it's called. And then automation and guides. We're also going to be talking about setting client expectations, just the communication that you have with them.
Yeah, and something that should be mentioned in there is throughout all of these seasons, you're going to have PDF templates that are going to help you kind of break it down. There'll be some homework assignments.
We have guide templates, we have questionnaires, like things like that. This is all going to be super good for you to learn and apply into your business.
Exactly. Okay, so that takes us on to season 5, which is all about shooting style. And this was a really fun one to record because we actually went out of our regular environment.
We didn't have to sit in front of the camera and talk to it.
We got to take it into the studio.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got to apply all of the things that we do with our photo shoots, which is so fun.
We shot, basically we went to, we weren't in Prospect Studio for this one. We actually rented a different studio in Vancouver.
Yeah, I hadn't had it at the time, but we shot a brand called Mayberry. It was a jewelry company here in Vancouver.
Yeah, and then we shot a couple too, because we wanted to show you how we work one-on-one with a person and incorporating, you know, if there's product that we need to feature.
Yes, and wedding style shoots. So that was the couple shoot. We talked all about how we planned that for this course, how you can plan your own, and then we go into it and show you what it looks like.
And we got to work with some really fun vendors.
Super fun vendors. Yes, lots.
So that's kind of about that one there, and then you can tell them about the next season.
So we got into workflow in season 6, which is really important stuff. Like, a lot of people don't think about how you're organizing your storage, how you're backing up your files. That is all covered, as well as your editing process. So Brooke and I both did an editing episode because she shoots with Lightroom, she edits with Lightroom and I edit with Photoshop. So we have 2 different perspectives on that.
But you should learn both. Just because we prefer one over the other, it's really important to know both programs.
Yeah, exactly. And you're diversifying your skills by really learning both. So
and then we talked about photo delivery in that one too.
And photo delivery, yes, absolutely. Ways to deliver your photos to your clients.
Okay, so yeah, basically that's the entire course, and I thought we should probably tell you what the price is. And when we decided what the price would be, we really wanted to, we sat and talked about it for a while, and we wanted to make sure that the value that we felt we poured into this workshop, that you thought it was worth the investment.
Yes.
And we kind of looked at, we went, okay, well, basically we're taking, 8 years of Vanessa's experience plus my experience, and we're giving you just a way to fast track your learning. And so we hope that you feel...
Yeah, it's an all-inclusive course.
Yeah, we hope you feel that you get more than what the monetary value of this course is.
Yeah, we decided that, when we were talking about making a workshop, we decided we had 2 ways to go. We could do less information and do a cheaper course, or we could give you all of the information that we want to and provide it for still a pretty good cost for all of its value.
We should probably say the cost because we just keep talking around. But
so it's a mystery.
It's a mystery to all of us. No, so the course is $2,000 and it's in Canadian dollars. And basically, like Vanessa said, you'll be able to sign up on the Stay Close website. Yeah. And it'll be launched December 1st.
Yes,
which we're so excited for because we have, over time, as we set realistic deadlines for ourselves, it will feel really good to finally launch it because we had expected to launch it a little bit sooner.
We had. What would you say were probably some of your, the worst experiences of running this?
Oh, the frustrating part? You want me to start?
Yeah.
Because we could make a podcast out of this. But, so this was the first pre-recorded course that I had ever filmed.
Yeah.
You had been doing your YouTube videos, but this was a huge commitment.
This was a big commitment.
One YouTube video would be a fraction of an episode.
My YouTube video was a weekend event when I was this would be fun to teach. Yeah. So this was a big commitment for sure.
Yeah, but more so you had a little bit more video experience, I would say.
Yes.
And one of the most frustrating parts was, so we actually filmed this course twice because the first time we filmed it, we looked at the footage and we went, you know what?
First of all, the footage, yes. The footage was
the quality of the footage, not the content.
It was not super good, but then on top of it, we were just watching ourselves talk and we're you know what? I don't think we're teaching this the way that we should be. and the footage does not look the best.
The information's all there, but we just know how much work and like heart that we've poured into this course, and we know we can do better.
Yeah, absolutely. So we decided to refilm it all, and so that was the most frustrating step.
The best, if I was going to outline a day, would be the day I emailed Vanessa. I remember we both had such a busy week, and her family was in town, so I was like, I'm just going to email her, and I can tell her to call me the next day. But I just emailed her, and I said, Vanessa, I've been reviewing some of the episodes. I love you, and I know you're going to hate the next thing I have to say, but like basically I'm just not proud of these videos that we made. And again, to me, it more so boiled down to quality. I'm like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I said, like, we need to be proud on the day that we press the button to launch this course. I need us to be able to celebrate, right? And I felt like we would have been too worried that other people would nitpick about certain things.
Because we're very picky. So we looked at the footage and we're like, you know, we can honestly, it was more the fact that like, it wasn't bad, but we're like, we're capable of doing better. Yeah. So the most frustrating day would have had to been getting that email from Brooke.
That was one of them.
I'm gonna answer that question now.
she's like, I kind of hate her.
Like shutting down for like a good solid few hours. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? You're right. Like, we want this to be really good. We've already put in like over like half a year's work into this, so we're gonna do it right if we're gonna do it at all. And so we refilmed it. We had refilmed it. We had filmed it originally. We had edited it, and then we refilmed it. So it made this process go much longer, but honestly, it's gonna be so much more.
But we get to pop champagne the day that we launch this course, right?
December
like
1st.
We get to be so proud of what we're sending.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good. And then like, let's bring the notes up a little bit because it got better since then. What have been some of your?
There have been some great parts to filming this course. Okay, negative Nelly.
Just so you know, there's some
good stuff. Yeah. Yes. So, do you have one great thing that you want to start with?
Yeah. So I really loved the days like where we would just absolutely walk into this like filming day and just kill it. Like there were certain days where we felt really good, and I don't know if it was just like the amount of sleep we got that one night or if it was like what we ate that day, but there was some days where we were like, we went through it maybe just like one walkthrough and then we went through it the second time and it was done. So I would say really good filming days were some of my favorites.
Some of my favorite days were basically, so after Vanessa and I filmed a day of episodes, so usually we'd film 1 to 2 on a day. We'd go get breakfast cookies from Brecca, or we'd get friendship fries from McDonald's, and they would just treat a little celebration. Treat yourself.
So good. You had to have treats to motivate yourself. You're literally sitting on a computer for like 5 hours looking at a camera all day. So.
Well, and the thing is too, what lots of people, well, I'm sure you realize, but what I didn't fully, I don't think, picture in my head was me like trying to eat like a freaking chip because I'm hungry and I'm having to like literally take 20 minutes to eat it because Vanessa's filming. Like you have to be so quiet.
You have to really watch noise levels, and unfortunately like there was construction outside most of our refilm days. Because the studio is based right across from a construction site, but I mean, like again, you can only control so many factors.
And too, it would be lots of the times you're like, okay, this just means the day is going to be longer because we're going to have to pause and restart a couple times.
Exactly. But overall, like honestly, it was so much fun. Like working, learning a lot from Brooke along the way because we have such different backgrounds on like how we learned and how we ran businesses.
Well, and the course literally just made us hang out too. So we became
we're like best friends now.
I like to
we
tell
just
her,
become best friends?
Stop, okay?
But yeah, no, honestly, it has been such an amazing experience.
It's been really cool. So it feels very, very nice to finally be done, and it will feel even better to actually launch it.
Yeah. So Brooke, talk to us about these giveaways that we're doing.
So basically, as we were thinking, okay, well, how do we want to get the word out about the course? Because we spent so much time that we need to make sure we're on top of just spreading the word, hey, we created this course. If this course is for you, we'd love for you to attend it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so essentially we're going to host on Instagram a little giveaway where we're going to give away the entire course to one person for free. But we also wanted to have a way to reward anyone who shared, like, who said, hey, like, check out Evergreen kind of thing. And so we're going to be using kind of like a point system where if you help us share the course, then you can win free resources and even a free episode.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that most of all, people are going to take away from this workshop just a variety of skills to really excel in your photography business and feel confident going out there, getting the clients that you wish to work with, and putting out the work that you wish to see for your business. So that wraps up this podcast. That was a lot of talking. And we hope to find you on the Evergreen website so that you are signing up.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.